All right, we're back. We're back. I'll give you guys a little while to come in. I know we were having some technical difficulties, and some of my Instagram family is coming over here to YouTube. Welcome, welcome. All right. All right. So, one, I just wanted to say hello. Is it too late to say Happy New Year still? We're about to go into March, I know. Hey Iris, yes, I'm back. So we're having a lot of rain here, and with the two phones, it's not because I'm using two phones, but this phone has regular internet and not just depending on the house Wi-Fi, because the house Wi-Fi is not working well. So it's okay. Here we are. So for those that are coming in that are not familiar with me as yet, and you watch the replay, welcome. My name is Nailah Abdullah. I'm a toxic relationship coach. My background is in mental health therapy. I've been working in that field. I started in that field maybe 10 years ago, approximately. But I pivoted into toxic relationship coach after dealing with my own toxic and narcissistic situations, relationship situations, and not just dealing with it, but going through the heartache, going through the confusion, but coming out stronger and wiser. And that is my mission. That is my mission. What I do here on YouTube is I provide videos for you that can help you to get through your own journey, whether you're still in a toxic or narcissistic relationship or you are out of it and you're trying to heal and move forward. You know, a lot of people talk about how awful people are that are narcissistic or toxic, but little is said about how difficult it is even after you leave the relationship. And in some cases, it can be even harder. So those are the things that I focus on here on this channel. And I wanted to introduce myself. So for those of you who have already been connected to me and you know me, you probably realize that I've been away for a while. I explained this to my email list, so if you're not on my email list, get on my email list so you can get the scoop earlier on. But I took a break because I wanted to work on something for you. Something that is beyond just sessions. I know a lot of people have been asking me if I'm available for sessions, and I did take a little while off. One, I did have a baby 11 months ago, but that's not the only reason. I also took a break from social media because I wanted to create something that can offer three key components that I realized is missing for a lot of people. One, I wanted to provide community. I wanted to create a space, a safe space for people to come to ask questions, to connect with other women who are going through what they're going through. Because something I realized, even in my own personal experience, was that there were times I felt crazy. I felt like what I was dealing with, people cared, but many did not really understand what I was going through. And even though their advice came from a good place, it was, they couldn't really relate. So I realized it's really important to have people that can relate to what you're going through when they're offering support. The other thing I wanted to create out in addition to community is classes, right? And classes that you can go back to. Because what I realized, even in my own personal experience with coaching, is that you get it, you get the information, you get motivated, but the human brain, we need to be reminded of what we're learning. We need to be immersed in it. So I wanted to create something that you can always have to go back to guide you through your journey. And even after you feel like you're at a place of healing and peace, that you still want to be able to have something to get those reminders, because that's how the human brain works, right? And when you are in a toxic or narcissistic relationship, there is a lot of conditioning that happens, and you have to reprogram the way that you think. And in order to reprogram this mind that we have as humans, we have to immerse ourselves in new new ways of thinking, and new concepts. So that's the second thing I wanted to create. So first thing, community. Second thing, classes, some classes that you can refer back to. And the next thing was, of course, coaching, what a lot of you have been asking me about. So putting those three things together, I created a program called the Relationship Detox. If you want more details about it, it will be in the description box below. But that is the reason that I have been away. But what this program does, in addition to giving you these three things, is it helps you to heal from that experience. And if you are still in the toxic or narcissistic relationship, it guides you to get your way out, right? Again, between the community, a supportive community, a safe space, not where you have to go to people who don't really understand or giving you confusing, advice, even if they're coming from a good place. So community, classes to refer back to, and then of course coaching with me. So again, if that is a place that you're in where you feel like, you know what, this is a new year, it's February, I don't want to be talking about this next year, because that's how I am. I don't like to complain about the same thing over and over. And I realize we do live in a society where it's almost cool, even though we're grown, we shouldn't be worried about being cool, but it's almost like it's cool to have something to talk about, but we're not here to talk about the same problems over and over. So if you're like me, where you don't want that to be your story over and over, same thing you're talking to your friends and family about, or even in your own thoughts, and you're really ready to move on, to heal, and just rebuild yourself, click the link in the description box below to get more information, or you can send me an email. Everything will be in the description box below. So I just wanted to let you know that's where I have been. I did not forget about you all. It might be too late to say Happy New Year because we're about to go into March. Happy New Year anyway. But that's where I've been. So tonight, one of the things I wanted to actually speak about as well was no contact. That is something that I realize a lot of women, hey Daryl, that is something I realize a lot of women are struggling with, is not necessarily going no contact, but maintaining no contact. So I wanted to give you some information to walk away with tonight that's going to help you to maintain the no contact. Okay, so this actually came from a comment that I read, and it says, starting my no contact today again, it's so hard, I don't have any friends. So the first thing I want to share, if you find yourself in a place like this, the first thing I want to tell you, before I start giving you any tips, I just want to tell you it's okay. It's okay that you're struggling with this. I think we sometimes are hard on ourselves, or we feel like something's wrong with me, that I can't do it. It is normal to struggle with going no contact, and it is normal to struggle with maintaining it. Okay, you have been with this person for a while, you have connections to them, and a lot of times coming out of these relationships, you are very confused, right? You're in a fog. You're confused about how someone can treat you like this. You're confused because you still have feelings for them. You're confused because you're trying to figure out, do they still have the same feelings for me? You have so many unanswered questions that you're not thinking clearly. So you're constantly going back and forth, right? And when you do make the mistake of having contact with them again, they then say things and do things to confuse you even further. So I just want to tell you, no, it's not okay to keep going back and breaking no contact, but I do want to tell you it's okay that it's difficult for you, okay? So take it easy on yourself. It doesn't mean there isn't work to be done, but also don't beat up on yourself. It is normal. In my personal experience, it took me 2 years in total. 2 years in total, and it wasn't constant contact, but it was off and on. Part of it was also trying to work out the divorce process, but I would sum that up to say that you're hoping that they can be normal, right? You're hoping that they can eventually just be normal, apologize, just try to be civilized, especially if you're married and you're trying to go through a divorce. You don't want to have a third party work things out. You want to be able to work it out amongst yourselves, right? There's so many different reasons that you keep breaking no contact, but I think a lot of it is rooted in hope and our own stubbornness. We don't want to accept when people are not as nice or as good as we want them to be. Okay? But take it easy on yourself. Yes, there's some work to be done. We're going to go a little bit further into that. But take it easy on yourself. It's normal for it to be challenging. The next thing now that you've taken it easy on yourself, the next thing I want you to keep in mind is that there's some mindset shifts that has to be made, okay? Sometimes people are staying in these relationships because you are afraid of the discomfort. You are afraid of the pain. But look at it this way. Even being in the relationship, you're in pain anyway, right? So it's better off you're in pain solo than in pain and connected to the thing that keeps causing you the pain, right? This is something I talk about in my program, is that you have to be willing to have short-term pain for long-term peace, okay? You have to be willing to sit in some discomfort. You're in it anyway, right? But at least you can put yourself in it, right? Because you are working towards long-term peace. So these are some of the mindset shifts that you have to make. Don't expect things to be comfortable. Expect it to be painful. But you're already dealing with pain. But at least now you can control this pain. And you can know that this pain is going to be temporary as long as I stick to the path that I set myself on. Okay, so start making that mindset shift. I am willing to accept short-term pain for long-term peace. Okay? The next point I want to make, as she said, it's so hard I don't have any friends. Don't be desperate. Also something I talk about in the program. Don't be desperate. If you feel desperate to have someone in your life because you don't have any friends, and don't get me wrong, I'm not being insensitive to this. I know that can be challenging. But let me tell you something. 2017, I went through Irma in the Caribbean, okay? I'm currently in St. Martin, by the way. For those of you who know anything about the Caribbean, St. Martin, that's where I am right now. I went through Irma in 2017. And we did prepare for the storm, we did prepare for the hurricane, but it came to a point where the good stuff we had prepared ran out. And then we had to start eating nasty canned food. Some of the canned food, we really had to just switch something in our mind and just eat it anyway because we needed something to eat. But let me tell you what I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat rat poison, okay? And yes, we had rat poison because the electricity was off. We had to sleep with the doors open. Yes, it was very a primitive environment that we were in after Irma. And so we had rat poison, we had traps because rats were coming in. I mean, not a lot, right? But you had one or two sneaking in the house, right? But I wouldn't eat rat poison, right? And that is the same thing with toxic and narcissistic people. Once you have identified who they are, if you're watching this, that means you've identified that person as toxic or narcissistic, right? Do not go back to them or do not keep them around because you feel lonely. Be willing to have that pain. Because you're not going to always be lonely. You're not going to always be lonely if you don't want to be. You have the choice, okay? So do not be desperate. The next point I want to make and add on to this is 2024. There are so many options that we have to build a whole new network of people. If you feel like your friends, your family, the toxic partner, no one is just right for you anymore, they're not healthy for you anymore, it's not like back in the day where you had to buy a phone card to call someone. No one writes letters anymore. Like, we can just hop on the computer, hop on our phones, and meet people, join groups, right? And you don't want to force it. You want it to be organic, right? But there's so many spaces that we can go in to find like-minded people, or people who live the way that we're trying to level up to, right? Even if they're not like-minded right now because you're working on your mindset, you can find people who are already there and get yourself in a healthy space. Okay, so don't be desperate and don't be afraid to create a new network of people. People do it all the time. I come from Caribbean parents, and when you are a second-generation immigrant, I'm American by birth, lived there most of my life, also in the Caribbean right now. But when you come from immigrant parents, you see how they create a whole new life in a new country that they know nothing about, and it's often very different from the country that they're from. People do it all the time, so don't get so comfortable, in your little bubble and your people, and those people might try to make you feel weird, that you're not hanging out with them anymore, and I'm not telling you to break all ties with everyone, But what I am saying, if you feel like you have no friends, you have no safe people, it is up to you, and we're in the best era now where you can meet new people. Okay? You can create a whole new network of people and find a safe, healthy space to be in. The last point, but this is not the least, I just left it for the last intentionally. The last point, if it's hard for you to maintain your no contact, create new friends, what else did I say? Be willing to be uncomfortable temporarily for long-term peace, not to be desperate, to give yourself grace for having to start over the no contact again because maybe you broke it. Pray about it. Go to God about it. And I left that for last, but that's actually what we should do first. And I know for some of you that might feel like, ugh, did she just say that? Because I know we live in a world where it's uncool to talk about God. But that's what we need to do first. God is the source. He is the source. That's who we go to pray for strength, to pray for discernment, to be able to decipher who's safe and who's not safe, to have faith in going with our gut, which is really the Holy Spirit talking to us to say, this is not right. Walk away. Don't be afraid of the loneliness. Trust that I'm going to lead you in the right path. We have to be connected to Him to hear that. Okay? So I hope that this was helpful for you. I just wanted to share these quick tips. If you don't already have the notification bell set on here, go ahead and set it. Hey, Coach Keisha, I just saw you. I'm here talking, not even looking. Go ahead and set the notification bell because I'm going to be on here. I know it's going a little while, but I told you why. I'm going to be on here answering questions if anyone has questions as well, sharing some more tips. So go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I come on live. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Iris. All right. All right, ladies. You all have a great evening, and I will probably see you tomorrow. All right. Take care.